Okay, hi. Today you're going to be making no-bake chocolate cookies. And when you come to the ingredient table, you need to have a tray with all of your measuring tools and some bowls to put some of your ingredients in. You need to think ahead. So what I want you to do is watch what I'm using, write down what I'm using, and I will have all of the ingredients out on the table so that you can come and measure what you need. Do not put everything together here. All you're doing is measuring, and you'll take it back to your individual kitchens and follow the directions and do your mixing there. So your recipe says you need 2 cups of sugar. I'm going to move the sugar back here. See this. Move this out of the way. Okay. When you measure, this is called the dip, the pour, cut, and level method. You're not dipping in. So I'm going to take and you want to heap it overflowing. Fill that up to overflowing. And then you're going to take a straight edge spatula and you don't want anything rounded, and you're going to cut across the top a couple times, and then you can just level it off. Okay, so that would be 1 cup. And you'll put your sugar in a bowl, small bowl, it doesn't have to be huge, but we do need 2 cups of this. So this is what the ingredient person will be doing. They will be measuring and getting the ingredients for whoever is the cook. Okay, so we have the sugar, and there's a reader who makes sure that you get all of your ingredients, that you don't miss anything. That's really important too. You need 1 stick of butter. You don't have to measure that, you can just put that on there. 1/2 cup of milk, and you're going to set your measuring, you need a liquid measuring cup. This is for liquids. You'll set it flat, take your milk, and pour it to the 1/2 cup line, and make sure you get down eye level. And fill it to the 1/2 cup. Now, what you're seeing is kind of at an angle. When I'm down perfectly eye level, it's right at the 1/2 cup. So that's why it's important to get down to that eye level, because it did look like it was a little bit higher than 1/2 cup, but it really wasn't. Okay, then you're going to add 3 cups of oatmeal, and I'm going to take and move that one out of the way. Now this oatmeal is a little different. It is not one that you can level as easy because there's bigger pieces in it. So you want to level out, don't pack it down, but just kind of scoop it or take it across the top. You want 3 cups of that. I'm kind of at the bottom of my oatmeal container here. There's 2. And I think I need a spoon to spoon it in, the rest of it. I really am at the end. But if I don't have enough, I have some in the cupboard. Okay, so now I have my 3 cups of oatmeal. I'm putting that in this bowl. Okay. We need a half cup of peanut butter, and I have a half cup measure. When you're getting peanut butter, you're going to have to scoop it out. This is a dry measure. Don't try putting it into a liquid measure. And you have to press it into the corners because you don't want any air pockets. These solid shortenings, and peanut butter has a lot of fat in it, so it's kind of like a solid shortening. They get a lot of air pockets in them, so you need to press it down and move it around. I think I've got it. And then this one you level again, just like you do the dry. That's why it's important to do the dry first, because you're going to mess up your straight edge spatula. Okay. And I need to get a paper towel, clean that off. Because I need it for cocoa. And I don't want to get peanut butter on the cocoa. Okay. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And we will take our measuring spoons from the measuring spoon set. We're going to put the vanilla in a separate container. Vanilla is a flavoring. Fill it clear to the top, but don't get too much that it overflows. And then 2 tablespoons of cocoa. So you will get your tablespoon measure, and on the recipe it says a capital T BSP, which means tablespoon, not teaspoon. You need to make sure what you're writing and reading. Fill it to overflowing, and then you will level this off. Hopefully you don't make as much of a mess as I do. Put that in a separate container. You have custard cups in your kitchen, and you may not have enough, so you'll have to find some smaller containers. You don't want great big bowls. Okay, there's tablespoon number 2. Okay. Then make sure you take all of your measuring utensils back to your kitchens with you. Don't leave anything in the kitchen at the table. And I'm going to have several extra things here. I'll just take those off. You need to think about what equipment, when you make out your lab plan, what equipment you need. These trays aren't very big, so you'll have to be kind of careful with that. Okay, so then you would take this back to your kitchen, and the reader would tell you what to do step by step. So I'm going to go over to the cooking part. This out of the way. Okay. Can you see okay? All right. Now it says to mix and bring to a boil the following: 2 cups of sugar. So I'm carefully going to put the sugar in the pan. You need a saucepan. And 1 stick of butter. So just peel the paper off. If you have any butter that's sticking to the paper, use your rubber scraper. You don't want to leave any of that behind. Okay. And ½ cup of milk. So this is, we're going to turn this on somewhere between 3 and 5. And what you'll do is mix your sugar and milk together, and then as the butter starts melting, it looks like this, the butter will start to melt, and then it will come to a boil. And you do want it to be a nice rolling boil. And you'll see what it is. It's not just when, you know, a couple bubbles break the surface. It needs to have a nice rolling boil. And then we'll go ahead and do the other things. Okay, while this is starting to melt, the butter's melting, and we're just kind of bringing it up to temperature slowly. Don't think that you need to always have everything on high right away, because stuff burns too easily. When you're working with sugar and milk, you do not want that to burn. So that's why I always say somewhere between 3 and 5. It's kind of a medium-low heat. And one of the things, whoever is doing dishes, make sure you run your sink with hot soapy water, as hot as we can get it at school. And when you go to wash off a counter, and that's something you need to always keep your counters really clean, open up your dishcloth and you can have a much bigger surface to wash with a dishcloth that way. And if you have anything on the dish, on your countertop that needs, like I have a few little pieces, you can scoop it into your hand. Too many times I've seen kids do this, and they try to wash this way, and it doesn't get the countertop as clean as it should be. But you also should wring out as much water. You don't want it terribly wet. Get as much water out of that dishcloth as you can, and use the dishcloth. Don't use paper towels to clean that off. And you know, keep your countertop clean, keep your stove top clean, clean as you go. If you ever worked at McDonald's, that's one of their mottos, is clean as you go. They don't want you to have everything all messy. So that's really important to, when you're cooking, whatever, here in your labs, at home, keep everything clean. It's just a really important thing to do. And so somebody can be doing the dishes while somebody else is cooking, and you know, normally if you're cooking at home, you don't have lab partners, but here in our kitchens you do. This is all melted, and it is just starting to come to a boil. And we haven't added anything else yet. So while I'm kind of waiting on that to boil, the other thing you have to do is get wax paper, and you're going to drop those cookies onto wax paper. So have a sheet or two of wax paper ready. So when the cookies are done, you can scoop them out onto wax paper. Okay, this is starting to boil. We're coming into a nice rolling boil. And if you can see all the bubbles there? That's what we want. There, that's good. Okay, and you should have been stirring this the whole time, but I stopped it just so you could see the boil. So what you're going to do is turn off your stove top. This comes off the burner now. Don't leave it on there. And then it says to add the rest of the ingredients. So we're going to add the oatmeal, the cocoa, the vanilla, and the peanut butter. And this you'll have to use your rubber scraper to get all of that out. Want to make sure you get it. every last little bit. And then you just carefully stir this. If you can see, it's just, you know, it's just a combination of stuff. And it's a little bit soupy, but once the oatmeal will thicken it a little bit. That's what oatmeal does. Even if it's not cooked, we put it into the hot mixture. Okay, so now it's all mixed up. The peanut butter and cocoa and everything's mixed in it. I'm going to bring it over to the waxed paper. And this is totally up to you how you want to do this. How big you want to make them. I usually use 2 spoons and just push them off, because this is a little runny, and as it cools down it will set up, and I'm sure you've had these before. This is a nice, quick, easy, I don't know what to do today. I think I want to make something. What can I make, Mom? Well, this is a nice, quick, easy way to do it. So just spoon them out, then you'll let them set, and then you can take them and eat them, take them home, share them with your friends, whatever you want to do with them. But they're pretty yummy. And then you'll clean up and you'll enjoy.